Hello and welcome to the next lecture. Today we're going to see how to set up your HTTP. And I will be using a CryptoPrice project for one thing, that because we have a cryptocurrency resource post method with multi-part form data to show you how it's behaving basically. Let's say you can create your empty project and tackle with it. So you don't need to use exactly this project. So the only thing that we need is actual application properties. If you create your new project, this will be empty, but yeah. So we're interested in today in how to set up the HTTP and what are limitations of it. And so the first thing that mostly all the, let's say, projects require is the correct root path, right? So for example, you have an API, right? And you want to set this API to be specifically /API, right? So for example, currently we have, let me close it. So currently we have, where is it? Yeah, so you can go to localhost 8080 and you can see that we have this, the default cloud native application is ready, blah blah blah, right? So we also have this echo method, right, where you can we'll also have a test one, right? But if we post it, we get something unsupportable media type. Okay, that's okay. Form data, right? So you can see that we have default. Well, there is nothing, but yeah, file name. The file is empty, but we don't need it right now. So just, yeah, you can see that we have this. And so what if we want to have in the API, right? So most of the applications wants to have the API like this, for example, right? So API and then something after this. And it's done really easy. You just need to add the echo, the specific parameter. It's called Quarkus HTTP root path. And then we can put equals API like this, right? So now you can see that if we'll go to echo, it shows us 404 because there is no such endpoints anymore. But if we add an API, you will see that we have this, the output of the body of the form data. And the same thing goes to this one. If we go to the root, there is nothing, but in API, you see that we have this thing, right? All right, so now we have the API echo method, right? And we want to actually, let's see how many, what's the limits of the HTTP with here. So unlike Spring, for example, right, where you have a 6 megabytes or 8 megabytes limit or 10, I don't remember exactly, but there is like a small amount, 10 megabytes or something by default. In Quarkus, the body size is unlimited. Literally, it's unlimited, and headers is I remember 20 kilobytes or something like this. So let's see. So you can look at it like this. So I can put something large. What do I have here? Yeah, let's put the Firefox, right? So there is like 73 megabytes, and when I send, you can see that the size of the output, the response size, is actually 60 megabytes, 80 megabytes. So the response size is too large for the Postman, not for the Quarkus. Quarkus will happily return the data back. So yeah, but we can send and download it from the PDF, but you can see that we uploaded actually 80 megabytes or something like this. Keep in mind that it was bytes, right? So we convert bytes to a string, and the size is like a lot more than 80 megabytes. So yeah, but let's take something that will be just about the limit of the Quarkus, not the Quarkus, but this thing, I don't know what is it. So if we send it, you can see that we have output as 15 megabytes which is already above the limit. But what I'm saying is that there is no limits for the body. It can be as large as you want. And yeah, so we just put back the file. So you can put here Quarkus HTTP limits, and then max body size, right? Body size. And then you can put, for example, 3M, which will be 3 megabytes, right? Let's try to send this file again. And you'll see that it's 413 request entity too large. And yeah, so depending on how many you put here, for example, 10 megabytes won't work as well, but 12 I think should work, right? Yeah, so 12. So you can see that basically max body size will specify. By default, it's unlimited, so you can put as many as you want. So there is another one called the max header size, and here by default it's 20 kilobytes, but you can increase it as well for something like 1 megabyte if it's, I don't know what exotic headers do you want to have, but it's possible, right? So yeah, there is also a Quarkus servlet path, which is used for the servlets if you have one, right? If you use one. We won't cover them in this video, probably maybe in some other video, but yeah, so which will be some path, and if you have a root path, so it will be merged together like this. So you have first the root path and then servlet path. So the servlet is basically the there is Java servlets which have specific methods which will be used for communication with endpoint, which is kind of outdated, but if you use one, this will help you. And so the last thing that we can speak a little bit is about the resources. So you can put some data here in resources, like the meta infra sources index HTML, which we are using. So you can put static files here, right? And then you can also put web XML if you use one into the meta in folder. That can be used for configuring your the servlets and other stuff. And yeah, that's basically it. There is one more thing that we'll cover in the next video called course origin requests, and yeah, and probably in SSL as well. So you should continue watching the next video and probably the second one as well. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.